Hey guys, welcome back. It's Scooter. We are moving on to Grey's Anatomy, this season 12, episode 3, I Choose You. Now, like I said, I'm trying to get these up. So one is episode 12, Walking Tall, is uploading now. So it should be available. Go watch it by now. Okay. The episode opens out with, Alex and Joe being all cute and cuddly, in the in the bed and everything like that. And Joe gets to work and she's like talking to Stephanie in the bathroom and they're being like secretive, and it kind of feels like she's, pregnant because Stephanie said, "Are you going to tell Alex?" And she was like, I don't know how to tell him." So we will see Joe and Alex having a baby. I could see Alex with a baby. And this episode really shows that Alex can have children and will be a great father. Alex and one of the interns, the brown-haired intern, he kind of looks like Mark Sloan. And he's doing his rounds with Alex, and he didn't really want to be on the peas floor, and no one understood it. Thought he hated kids, and he keeps saying, "I don't hate kids." So Alex and Arizona and Ben and the intern are working with a patient. She's about to give birth, and she gives birth to two twins, a boy and a girl, and they're very, very jaundiced. And with further looking into the two babies, they find out that they have cancer in their in the livers. Yes, they have a tumor. A tumor in their kidneys, and they let the parents know, you can be screened and tested to see if you're a match. And the father was a match, and the mother wasn't. And the father said, "Can you just split my kidneys so both of my children, can have kidneys?" And they were like, "They can't do that." So the parents didn't know how to choose between the twins. So Alex made the call that he would decide, which twin was the healthier one, which one twin, could sustain, getting the kidney and living through it, to the next day. So while that was going on with Alex, back at Meredith's home, they're running late. She's honking the horn. Maggie jumps in with newspapers and bills and the mail, and her toothbrush in her mouth, and they're still waiting on the mail. And Maggie was like, "See, I'm the good sister. I'm the good sister. Even though I'm late, I'm the good sister." So while in the car, Meredith opens up her contract for the new chief of surgery, and Maggie looks at it, and she makes this funny face, and Meredith was like, "Well, what's that face for?" And she's like, nothing." Then all of a sudden, Amelia jumps in the backseat of the car and then gets bucket naked. Yes, I said bucket naked. She gets bucket naked in the backseat of the car, and Meredith's like, "My children sit back there." And Amelia was like, "Well, do they lick the seats?" She was like, "Your bare butt is on the seats where my children sit." She's like, "Well, you won't have no problems if they don't lick the seats." So Meredith and them, they get to the hospital, and Callie looks at Meredith's contract, and she makes a face, and Callie lets her know, "Look, they lowballed you. Bailey lowballed you. You're not I'm getting paid way more than you are." And Meredith was like, "No, no, no, I'm accepting the job." And Callie was like, "You're getting lowballed. I think you need to, go in there and find out, get paid more." So we jump from that, and we get on to Maggie being all depressed. They were at home after the shift, and before that, Arizona and Alex, were sitting there at the hospital trying to figure out, which baby would get the kidney from the father, and getting on the phone with and trying to find another kidney from different hospitals, calling hospitals repeatedly to see if anyone had, a kidney that would be a match to the baby, to one of the twins. And so Bailey and Ben, they were at home in bed talking, and Ben was talking about how hard it is, on Alex, and Bailey's just explaining to him, he's going to try his best. He's going to call around. He's going to try to find out, find a kidney. And Ben felt bad So he got up, he went back to the hospital, he went to help Alex in Arizona, and the intern was there as well. He was helping, go over test results and labs and trying to figure out which twin would be more viable to. I'm sorry, I keep looking at the computer because I'm uploading the video. Which twin is more viable to get the kidney? So when once they had went through everything, Arizona told Alex, look, you need to go home, you need to eat, you need to get a couple of hours sleep and come back fresh. So Alex goes home, Joe is there, and she was like, look, we need to talk. But before that, I forgot, Alex saw Joe in the elevator, and Joe, asked him, do you want to have kids? And he was like, maybe, yeah, no, but not right now. And then Alex said something to Arizona, and Arizona was like, you sure she's not right now pregnant? And Alex was like, why would you say that? No, she's not. So when Alex gets home, Joe is like, we need to talk. He was like, okay. And she finds the paper from the fertility clinic that Izzy and Alex went to right after Izzy found out she had cancer. And Alex, they had the eggs and the sperm frozen, but they never, Izzy left them, so they never, had that happen. But to Joe, it felt like, you were ready to have kids with Izzy, but are you ready to have kids with me? And Alex, he didn't know. He was like, it was a long time ago. I'm not sure. And, she kept going on and on about the fact that he wanted to have kids with Izzy, but do you want to have kids with me? Which is a viable statement. You did want to have kids with Izzy, so do you want to have kids with Joe? I mean, that's all she's asking. She wants to know where they stand in their relationship. Are they just shacking up? Are they going to get married? Does he want to have kids with her? Does he want to get married? She said all he talked about was them getting a dog. He was like, well, do you want a dog? She was like, no, I want to know, do you want to have kids with me? But they got in a little scuffle, a little fight, and he left and went back to the hospital and dealt with the parents. Um, So Bailey went in and gave the father of the twins his surgery to remove his kidney. And Alex let them know that he was going to open up both of the babies to get a closer look at the tumor so that he can clearly decide which child would get the kidney. So once Alex did that, he decided to give the kidney to the little girl, which her name was Amelia. It was either Amanda or Amelia, and they named the boy Daniel. So he opened up both of the twins, and he gave the girl the kidney. He let Arizona do that, and then he went over to Daniel, the boy twin, to see if what he could do, if he could reconstruct the kidney to give him more time because he would die, that night. So he tried. He got the baby back the first go around, and then the baby heart wasn't strong enough, and he died. But before that happened, the intern with the brown hair, he let Alex know that before he went to medical school, while he was going to medical school, he was an EMT, and there was a crash accident, and the baby toddler was in the mother's arms and was dead, DOA. And the mother was bleeding really bad, and he was trying to save the mother, but the mother wouldn't let go of the toddler, and she was screaming and crying, and he said he couldn't get that out of his head, and he knew that that mother would cry like that for the rest of her life, and he just didn't know if he could handle. It's not the kids that he doesn't like, it's being able to handle the parents, and he doesn't think he's strong enough, and he needs to find out where he stands in the medical community. Which is true. It's hard in the peace department. Pediatric kids are very, very, very touchy subject with the parents. You have some parents that get angry. You have some parents that are just hysterical. You have some parents that just won't listen. It's a lot when it comes to your kids. When your kids are sick, you have. Sometimes you can't keep it cool. Sometimes you can. It really all depends on the situation. So I can understand where he was saying it. And Alex understood as well why he was so hesitant to work in the peace department. Sorry, I'm tired, y'all. Long day, long treatments. So Alex, he felt bad. He felt heartbroken. So he goes home. He talks to Joe, he was like, look, you want to have a baby? We can make a baby now. And he dropped his pants. He was like, no, 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 I'm still in my internship. And, I'm only 2 years in. And, but they laughed and joked about it. So I'm really happy to see them, get together. Richard finds out about Meredith's low um, salary that she was offered in her contract, and he goes to Bailey and tells Bailey, I don't think why would you lowball, Meredith, and I wouldn't think you would go against sisterhood of women's being chief of this hospital. And he was trying to give the right on dad speech, and then Bailey was like, look, you've been coddling Meredith since Derek's death. She has to learn how to do this on her own. I've taught her well, and she can do this. We can't coddle her because you won't be around to coddle her when this happens again. So she has to learn how to do this on her own. And when she's ready, she'll come to me, which is true. Bailey is trying to teach teach Richard that he can't keep coddling Meredith because she lost Derek, because Meredith has to go on with her life. And she has to learn how to get out of situations. She doesn't have Derek to run to, and she doesn't need Richard to run to as well. So Meredith finally got the ball. She went to Bailey. Bailey was giving her a Nazi attitude. Yes, Gray. And Meredith walks in and she lets, her know, I deserve this job. I worked hard for this job. You said you needed me. You said you wanted me to be a mini you. You gave me this job. You said, I deserve this. And I think I deserve a bigger salary. And she was like, well, do you have a number in mind? And Meredith's like, I think she jumped the number off the top of her head, and she grabbed the pen out, wrote it on the contract, and, Bailey was like, I think I can do that. And Meredith was like, oh, thank you, thank you, thank you. And then Bailey said, Gray? She was like, yes. She was like, good job. And she left out smiling, which I thought it was really, 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 really good. I'm glad to see that things are going good for Gray and things are going good for Bailey. So Maggie, I don't remember if I mentioned. Okay, Maggie got an invitation to her ex-boyfriend Ethan's wedding, which was Lance Gross. Last season they dated for 6 months, and 6 months later he's getting married. So Maggie, she tried to act like nothing was wrong, and then back at the house, Amelia, Maggie, Gray, and Callie were talking around and drinking, and Maggie was crying, saying, my world has gone to pieces. My parents are not together. I come to find my sister. Now I'm living come to find my birth mother, and now I'm living in her house with my half sister, and I'm working with a nice guy who was my dad, and she was just saying that everything was falling to pieces, and Ethan found someone and she didn't. So she decides to go to the bar and get drunk. And the brown-headed intern guy, I told y'all, if they make it to episode 5, then I will learn their names. But the brown-headed, I'm going to call him Mark Stallone 2. Like Terminator 2? Yeah. Mark Stallone 2, look-alike. He was at the bar drinking, and they were taking shots, and then they just started making out at the bar. So I thought that was very funny. Jackson and April. April wants to fight. Jackson's been sleeping on the couch. He comes, in the beginning of the episode, he comes in the room. He's like, I'm not sleeping on the couch anymore. You need to move out. You need to get a hotel. I'll hook you up with a hotel room. You need to go. I need to be able to sleep in my own bed by myself. He was being very rude, very nasty to April. April's like, no, we're married. This is our home. He was like, no, this is my home. My name's on the lease. You need to go. You need to leave. So she was like, no, I'm fighting for our marriage. And Jackson was like, well, when you're at work, I'm going to change the locks. She's like, well, when I come home, I'm just going to have a crowbar. And he was like, see, listen to yourself. You sound crazy. So she gets home from work, and there's no locks. And she walks in and says, thank you for not changing the locks. And, we're going to make this work. And I love you. And she was just giving a whole speech to an empty house because Jackson was not there. She came in the room, the drawers were empty, his clothes in the closet were gone, and she just looked so heartbroken. And Jackson was at Bailey and Ben's home, sleeping on the couch. So, I guess Jackson was like, he was trying to be petty, but he really didn't want to kick her out. And since she wouldn't go voluntarily, so he was like, I'm just gonna have to leave myself. So he left her. And I hope they work things out. I really like Jackson and April. I mean, if the dynamic of their situations, like you can see his side, you can see her side of it. It's just who's gonna crack first. Either April's gonna give up or Jackson's gonna cave in. I'm not sure, but we'll find out sooner or later. We'll find out which one is gonna do which. But it was a good episode. I really liked it, so I can't wait till the next episode and see what happened. And we're going to see how this goes with Maggie and the intern, if she's going to think this is a big mistake or they're going to just start hooking up, randomly. We're going to see Meredith in her chief of surgery role, which is not a small, not a small thing. I'm kind of antsy because I want to know when or if Christina's coming back. Like, how far into the season do we have to wait to see if Christina is coming back? So I really want to see that. And I really wonder if they're going to, I want the dynamic of more patients, more of the cases, because it seemed like, I think these first couple of episodes each, or these first few episodes, each person, each character, I guess is going to have their own segue into what's been going on in their life. And then they'll start combining it like they did. It kind of reminds me of season 10. Yeah, it kind of reminds me a little bit of season 10. But hopefully we get some more details. But thank you guys for watching. I love you guys. Tomorrow is episode 4. So I'm going to watch that. I'm going to get that up as soon as possible. And then I'll try to do my Messy Monday on Friday because I'm really late. So, but again, thank you guys for watching. I love you. Smooches.